Hello, and welcome to Read It and Don't Weep, the podcast that will help you breeze through your high school literature classes. Are you tired of struggling to understand the themes and characters in classic works of literature? Well, I've got you covered. I'm your host, Jackie Taggart, and I taught high school English for almost 20 years. Join me each episode as I dive into the world of high school literature and break down the essential elements of each work. From Shakespeare to Steinbeck, I'll cover it all. My goal is to give you valuable insight and analysis on some of the most popular high school literary texts, as well as tips and tricks for acing your tests and essays. Let's start reading. As we come to the end of the play, we can see how the witch's prophecies will bring Macbeth's downfall. But what about Macbeth? And who is the person not born of woman who will finally defeat Macbeth? If you have not yet read up to this point, it would be a good idea to get caught up with your reading and listen to my other episodes before continuing. As the scene opens, we jump back outside the field next to Dunsinane. Malcolm, Macduff, Syward, and the other soldiers arrive still carrying the branches from Brenham Wood. Malcolm confirms they are close enough now and gives the order to drop the branches and reveal themselves. He tells the soldiers to throw down their leafy cover and show like those you are. This is the moment the prophecy fully comes into focus. What looked impossible, a forest moving towards the castle, turns out to be a clever military strategy. But for Macbeth, the effect is the same. The witch's words are coming true, just like before. Malcolm quickly organizes the attack. He assigns the first charge to Syward and his son, trusting them to lead the opening assault. Malcolm and Macduff will follow with the rest of the army. Syward accepts the plan and says if they find the enemy tonight, they'll fight. And if they don't fight well, then they deserve the consequences. It's a soldier's way of saying the outcome will be decided by courage on the battlefield. Macduff then calls for the trumpets to sound, describing them as the clamorous harbingers of blood and death. With that, the battle begins. This scene is short, but it is important. The prophecy about Brenham Wood has now been fulfilled, and the final battle is about to begin. Before moving on to the final scene, take some time to record your thoughts in your reading journal. How does the army's use of the branches show the difference between the prophecy and the reality in the play? Hey teachers, are you looking for some top-notch resources to go along with this podcast episode? You'll find them right in my store. A quick click on the link in the show notes gets you right there. What awaits? A stash of guided questions, note-taking aids, and assessments to use with your students. Go ahead and make the most of these resources today. In our last scene, we move to the battlefield outside the castle as the fighting reaches its peak. Macbeth enters and realizes he is trapped. They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. This moment actually reflects back to Act 1, Scene 2, when Macbeth was praised for fighting bravely for Scotland. Back then, he was the hero, defending his country. Now, he is still fighting to the end, but this time, he is the tyrant everyone else is trying to stop. In other words, there's no escape now. He must stand and fight. Even now, he still clings to the witch's prophecy. He believes he is safe from anyone born of a woman, so he keeps fighting with that false confidence. Young Syward enters and challenges him. Macbeth kills him quickly, and again reassures himself that no one born of a woman can defeat him. Meanwhile, Macduff is moving through the battlefield searching for Macbeth specifically. He ignores other soldiers because he wants Macbeth. He says if anyone else kills Macbeth, the ghosts of his wife and children will haunt them. This isn't just war for Macduff. It's personal. He wants to avenge his family. Malcolm and Syward report that the castle is already beginning to fall. Many of Macbeth's own soldiers are switching sides or refusing to fight. Can you blame them? They have no loyalty to Macbeth. Everything is collapsing from within. Then comes the moment we have been building towards. Macbeth re-enters and refuses to take his own life. He says he won't play the Roman fool and die on his own sword while enemies still live. Then Macduff appears and calls him out. "Turn, hellhound, turn!" Macbeth tries to avoid the fight, saying he already has too much of Macduff's blood on his conscience. But Macduff won't have it. He says, "My voice is my sword." They fight. During the duel, Macbeth boasts again about his charmed life, insisting no one born of woman can harm him. And this is where the truth finally comes out. Macduff reveals he was, from his mother's womb, untimely ripped. In other words, he was born by what we would call today a cesarean section. Not technically born in the usual way. So the witches used their words wisely to deceive Macbeth into a false sense of security. At that moment, Macbeth is like, well, that sucks. He knows he is defeated, and he finally understands the full meaning of the prophecy. Macduff, a man not technically born of woman, will defeat him. He briefly considers giving up, but when Macduff taunts him with the idea of surrender and public shame, Macbeth refuses. He decides to fight to the end rather than kneel before Malcolm. They exit fighting. Soon after, the battle ends. Malcolm and Cyward enter, and Ross reports that young Cyward died bravely in battle. Cyward accepts his son's death with pride. Then, Macduff returns carrying Macbeth's head. He hails Malcolm as king, declaring the tyrant is dead and Scotland is free. The thanes and soldiers echo the cry, "Hail, King of Scotland!" Malcolm's final speech focuses on restoring order. He rewards loyalty, invites exiles home, and promises to repair the damages caused by Macbeth's rule. He also confirms that Lady Macbeth is believed to have taken her own life. The play ends with Malcolm preparing to be crowned at sconce, and the sound of trumpets signal that order has finally been restored. And that is the end of our play. Before leaving, take some time to record one last thought in your reading journal. Do you think Macbeth died as a villain, a tragic hero, or both? Explain using details from this final scene. Thank you for listening. I'll see you for our next reading. Thanks for listening to this episode of Read It and Don't Weep. Be sure to subscribe to the show so you will be notified when new episodes are released. If you liked today's show, please leave a review so others can discover my show. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes, drop me an email at readitanddontweep@gmail.com or reach out to me on social media. I'd love to hear from you. The links are in the show notes. Thank you for listening. I'm Jackie Taggart, and remember to read it and don't weep.